Hello, Copenhagen.
Hey, yo, thanks.
How are we going?
9 years.
You got the beers going. I love it.
Oh, yeah. The Danish Limfjords Porter.
Limfjords Porter. I think that's kind of your signature beer from what I could see on your Facebook page.
Still haven't got sponsored though. We kind of wish that we were.
Oh, it's never too late, and you guys are gonna make it big now.
Let's hope so. Our goal so far is we didn't care about the record deal or anything. We just wanted the sponsorship. All the other stuff just happened before.
That's the way, man. That's the way. So how's everything going in Copenhagen?
Great. We just got this new studio. We've been renovating it for like half a year or something now, and it's finally getting together. So
fantastic.
Yeah, we can kind of call it a studio now. Nothing really works, but it just looks cool.
Awesome. I suppose you had quite a bit of time to sort of get everything sorted here during the whole lockdown. How's that affected you?
We had like 8 gigs canceled, 10 with the ones that we thought were going to be played after the pandemic.
Yeah.
But so we just had to cancel yesterday. That sucked. But it just got postponed to next year. But nothing really. Yeah, I mean, it's just been a lot of stillness, really. So we have just been renovating room.
That's awesome. So at least you're sort of making a little bit out of the whole lockdown situation here.
Yeah, I mean, if you could look at one thing that we did that was pretty cool. We did though we were trying to get into the live streaming market. So we have our own little live streaming setup, which was actually mostly our gear that we used for the Richter stream, where we streamed a whole show from Richter. But yeah, it was all the venue's sound equipment, but our video equipment minus the camera.
Oh wow! That was I actually did watch most of that stream. That was some pretty decent quality there. So that was majority of. So the majority of that was your gear, the actual streaming equipment.
Yeah. I just bought this cheap. What is the capture card? It's actually meant for gamers, but I just thought when I bought it, maybe I can hook up my camera to this.
Yeah, cool.
It has 400 milliseconds of delay, so everything's a little bit weird. So we spent some time figuring that out.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I saw you've done a couple of streams from your is that from your studio, your rehearsal room or something? I think you did a stream, was it about a week ago or something?
Yeah, Max drumming.
Yeah,
we're trying to get that market. We just actually, before you called, made our in-ears work. So now we can actually do a stream of the whole band in a room together, just in the studio.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we have this little mixer that sends it directly into the PC. So we can what you guys hear is what's just going through the mixer, and then we have a separate card for video and stuff. Super geeky. It took a lot of effort, but it works now.
Well, you never know. There might be a bit of how everything is going to work in the future, sort of depending on how long everything, like all the venues are going to be locked down for or anything. But so it's good to see you guys are sort of on the forefront of all that.
Yeah, it took some time getting into.
Got to stay active though.
Really got to stay active. I mean, the weird thing is that to be quite honest, like the streaming stuff that we do is pretty cool. We get a lot of interaction with people and stuff, but we kind of miss the roaring crowd, you know.
Of course.
It's something different.
Well, I saw last year you guys played quite a few shows, and there was there's a couple of big crowds as well. Tell us a little bit about that, because I noticed you had I think on your website it said you played about, was it 54 shows or something in 1 year?
Yeah, we did. We managed to put up like 10 shows, 12, something in that area, 10, 12 shows at home. ourselves. Some of them were this competition, Viking Metal Battle, which is supposed to send you down to, to play Viking basically. So they gave us like 4 or 5 gigs, and then we had some other ones ourselves. And then we asked our buddies from Red Warszawa. For those guys who doesn't know, Red Warszawa is this Danish cult band, like comedy mixed with metal. And they kind of took us under their wing and really made us, travel the entire country and tour with them. And then we also we went to Russia by accident. The dude, he just texted us and was like, "So you want the Russian tour?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" We do tour Russia.
I still don't believe it. Like, I didn't believe it when you told me, "Oh, we're going to tour Russia." I still don't believe it either.
What cynical plan does he have now?
Yeah, because that was pretty intense. I think you played, was it 11 shows in 11 days or something?
Yeah, like
more like 10.
More like 10 because the first day at arriving at the border, we got held back for like 4 or 5 hours.
At least you guys.
No, because first we arrived. Yeah. First we arrived to the border, and then we got declined because we had borrowed a trailer from Red Warszawa, and we didn't have the papers for it, the registration or anything. So they were like, "Nope, there's no way we're gonna let you in with that thing." So we're just like, "Fuck, how are we gonna do this?" So can we swear on the show?
Of course, you can. You're musicians. You can.
So the thing we did was that I was like, so we're gonna have to figure out a way to get all of our shit inside one car and over the border, and because we had the papers for Bjorn's car.
I hope so.
At least we hope they were the real papers. But we had those, but we didn't have the trailer, so we're just like, okay, we're going back to Finland, stash the trailer somewhere, pack all of our shit into the car, and then me and Aira, we had this huge guitar case. That was the only thing that wouldn't fit inside the car. This huge guitar case. It was like it's almost as tall as a door, basically.
It's as tall as me.
It's as tall as him, and double as wide, basically. And we had to pack that onto a train. So we just dumped the trailer in some parking lot somewhere in Finland. We have no idea how to pronounce. And
Kovala.
Oh,
was it Kovala or
no, something around?
So we just jumped the train, and we got handed Russian papers on the train that we were supposed to fill out, and like drug dogs and everything coming and checking out all of our shit, and they had to check everything because we looked like this, and we went into Russia.
The best thing is when the border patrol came in. First it was the Finnish border patrol, because as we're exiting Finland, the guy comes in like all dressed to kill, pretty much, and then looks at us and is like, "So I'm guessing that's guitars in that big box over there." Yeah. So what do you guys play? We play thrash. Oh, nice! I'm more of a black metal guy myself, but
nice.
Thrash is cool, yeah. And then he gave us this really good tip: don't tell the Russians how much it's worth.
Oh yeah.
Just tell them it's guitars and they're all cheap. That's it.
It was also like when we got sent back at the border, when we all were in the car with the trailer. Then this guy was like, "So do you have like a receipt for all this shit?" Or like, "Are you supposed to have that?" Yeah. Because now I'm gonna have to charge you for all that shit because you cannot prove that you either bought it from home or in Russia. But then we were so lucky. One of us, I don't remember. Yeah, but one of us had to like mention we never really entered Russia. We got stopped at the border, and he was like, "Oh, you didn't?"
I think
no. so that saved our butts.
That's so crazy because you actually you're not the first guys that I've spoken to on the show that's had a very similar story about going to Russia. So it must be a thing that they are just very keen on musicians.
Probably.
But okay, so you got into Russia. So you got your gear in, and you obviously played quite a few shows. How did that go? How's the crowd there?
first night was an absolute disaster. Yeah.
Fabulous disaster.
But we met an American there who because we were having to pay for parking. But this American that we met, his name is Keedron, and Keedron, we love you, bro. If you're watching this,
we didn't mention that these guys didn't get into Russia.
Oh shit! Yeah, we did
like 6-7 hours, maybe.
Yeah, going all the way back to Kovola, and then driving to another border, what's it called, control.
Yeah.
And the fun thing was that the Finnish dude on the Finnish side, he was so you have all this equipment. What are you doing? Well, we play Thrash. He's like, yeah, we need more Thrash in Finland as well.
That's it.
So we were held at the border control for 2.5 hours, and while he was signing off papers, I had to unpack the entire car, take everything out, and be like, "Well, this is this," and they're pointing to my pedal, and it's like, "What's these? What is these?" And it's a freaking bass drum pedal. I mean, what?
I know you Russians have a hard time doing this, but you can hit stuff.
You put down your foot, and it flicks a mallet.
Couldn't you just set up and put on a little show there instead?
we actually really tried negotiating like the first time. I was like, bro, look at us. We're too dumb to be terrorists. Can't you let them?
So how did you get in then? So you got everything out of the car. You showed him how bass pedal works, and you had to then refit everything back into the car.
Yeah, it's a game of Tetris, but it's the same game all over. So it's just fine improvements. But they even had their drug dog out sniffing drugs.
That's because you look like a drug addict.
It didn't help that my car at that moment was army green and painted. So
right.
Oh shit!
It was army green.
Bjorn's car was like this fucking meme in this band. Like we won the first competition we went to with that Bakken thing, and their victory picture wasn't a picture of us on stage cheering. It was a picture of the backside of Bjorn's car. This army green lowered what is it, like a Volkswagen Passat, and then it has fucking Demolizer in the back window. And
right. That's a proper tour bus.
We used to call it cucumber
because of the color.
Nice. But so how did you get those gigs? Like how did that come about?
A Russian texted me. So you want the Russian tour?
Ruslan. I hope he's watching. I so hope he's watching.
If Ruslan is watching, thank you for 10 amazing days. I almost died.
Literally almost died.
So what's the story behind that? What happened since you nearly died?
I can't really show it because right in front of us there's like a gigantic mixing desk, so I'm gonna have to move a lot of shit to show you. But I have to
flick your foot up.
Oh yeah, shit! I got this little bad boy right here. It's the smallest tattoo I got, I believe, and it's almost costed me either my leg or my life.
What?
Because
yeah, exactly.
Because we were the first show obviously got canceled in St. Petersburg because these guys showed up 6 hours late or something like that because of the border control. The day after we went to this club called Hellblock 13 in Veliki Luki, which is this small town outside, not too far away from St. Petersburg.
Oh, dude, it was 8 hours away.
Yeah, but like
every drive was 8 hours.
Yeah. 8 hours for a drive in Russia is not long. It's pretty normal. Like that. Yeah. So we went there, and then we went to another like a radio show there, which is kind of like this, but in Russian. And we had a what's it called, a translator and everything on that show. And then after the interview, the host was like, "Hey, so I also own this tattoo shop. So if we like your show tonight, and if you give us free tickets, we'll give you free tattoos in return." And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. So I made them write down their names, put them, gave it to the guy, and was like, dude, you need to make sure these people get in. I need ink. and then
Feed the addiction.
yes. and then this the host and the person she owned this store with was sending the shirt. We're like, shit, we love this so much better than what we expected. So we got back there and we all got tattoos. I even made him get his first tattoo.
He didn't get one.
Me and him get matching tattoos because we're
Girlfriend tattoos.
Aw, that's cute.
and then they gave me this loop kind of, the kind of cream you smell on your tattoos, and I was like, okay, shit, cool, whatever. And a couple of days goes by, and every person's tattoo is fine. Mine
was starting to get infected.
Yeah, all of ours.
I got lucky.
His was fine.
Happened.
His was totally fine, but I got a little bit infected, and then comes this fucker here who just decides to trump it all.
My leg got like insanely red, like hot pink as strip club neon lights.
Rolling up and
and I was like, okay, maybe I should. Usually I don't use that cream because I like it to heal naturally, which is something I hope my tattoo artists will never hear me say again. But I mean, all of them have healed pretty nice just naturally. So what I did was, okay, cool. I'm all out of this stuff now. So what do I do? And I asked the driver, can we go to a pharmacy so I can get more of this shit? And he's like, no, you can go to a supermarket. And I'm like, okay, I don't quite think you know what this is. This is not something you can get at a supermarket. And then we're talking via Google Translate. Like we have this app that translates what we're saying into text, so we can read what each other is saying. Then all of a sudden he just takes down his phone and is like, Vaseline! And I'm like, you're not telling me this motherfucker gave me Vaseline to clean my tattoos? And he was like, Vaseline! When he looked at it, I was like, oh! So then I texted the tattoo artist and was like, bro, you are aware that you gave me Vaseline for cleaning my tattoo, right? Oh. And she was like, oh, I did? I was like, yeah. Oh, well, you can't clean it with that. Oh, man, you don't say. So the thing is, I don't know what the cream you're supposed to use is called. I just know, okay, maybe I'm gonna get some like Sprit or something, what's it called? Coal dioxide, whatever.
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, yeah.
Yeah, and clean it with that and some shit. And that kind of worked. Like I was actually feeling some healing because it hurt like shit. And then a couple of days after we played the weirdest venue we have ever been to. It was so weird. It was this. It looks like your apartment's what is it? The basement. Where all the storage areas are in an apartment. It looked like that without the like small storage areas. So, and the first thing you see when you go in is on your right there is a fish stand with dried fish and a tap.
Yeah.
Nice.
Didn't the guy get naked there?
No, that was the racist guy. That was the racist guy that came and called you the N-word.
Yeah, that's true.
A guy called Aira the N-word.
That's true.
Which is weird because we went to southern Russia and people look more like him down there.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's bizarre.
But there's probably a lot of right-wing extremists that
fucking run away because of an actual fucking Nazi.
Yeah, but that was some days after this. Yeah. But we get down there, and this super up tattooed guy comes over to me and starts yelling at me, and I'm thinking, okay, either this guy's in the mafia or he's a tattoo artist. So he just starts yelling at me, and I don't really know anything about what's going on here. So and then he just storms out the door all of a sudden, and I'm like, okay, I think I pissed him off. I hope I didn't insult his grandparents or something. And then he comes running in like half an hour later with a bag or something, and Max comes in. He wants to do you good. He wants to do you good. And I'm like, what is going on? And this guy just flips me up on the table like a fucking. I'm like feeling like I'm at the
gynecologist.
Somebody's on my leg, and then he just starts ripping like this stuff all over my leg, and I'm like, oh my god, this hurts, but it hurts good.
It's good pain. Good pain.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then he's like, I've just cleaned your tattoo. You're not gonna die. I was like, oh, thanks, bro. So he gave us a lot of shit, and a couple of days goes by, and I doesn't really feel any different. I just start to notice that my leg is starting to swell a lot, like a whole lot, and it's getting even more hot pink. So I was like,
and don't forget to mention the red spots.
Pimples.
No, that's not yet. That's not yet. So we played the last gig of what was supposed to be the last gig, but we had a gig the day after because we missed out on St. Petersburg. Twice. But that's again later in the story. So we were in this town called Miralny Vody, and I'm just feeling like, holy shit, my leg is gonna fall off. So I play this show barefoot, and when I get back to the hotel after the show, I take a look at my leg. Like, this is the first time I take my pants off the entire day, and I just see these huge pimples on my leg. Like seriously, think about this. You're 13 years old and you're going into puberty, and you have acne, like 3rd degree.
It was bad.
It was so bad. And I was like, fuck. So I called people like, so do you by any chance know a doctor or can call one for me? and everyone's like freaking out. Why do you need a doctor? So I actually got a hold of a doctor or like a nurse. And she was like, you need antibiotics, get to the hospital. So
like right now.
Yeah, like right now.
As soon as you can.
So the day after we flew from Miralny Vody to St. Petersburg, and we called Kedrin again because Kedrin was like this major boss that let us borrow his garage and everything for the car and stuff. That American we were talking about, I'd say, was the first night. Apparently, he's also best friend with Havoc, which is like, we love Havoc. So we called him up and was like, sorry, but can we stay another night because I need to go to the hospital and I only get there tomorrow and our gear needs to arrive, which is also arriving tomorrow and stuff like that. Yeah, whatever. I show up at the hospital, which is the only place in the entire country where I have met someone that actually speaks English fluid. That was awesome to actually talk to someone. And then we brought Kedrin's girlfriend, which was a Russian to English translator, like for a living. So I was like sitting in the room alone with her and the doctor, and I was like looking back and forth, like, yeah, just a bit, yeah. And I'm like, bro, what you saying? And then she's like, well, you should be glad that you didn't arrive here tomorrow or the day after. I was like, okay, why? Well, because it looks like this tattoo thing you have going on here, it's about to like evolve into a blood infection. And if they can't stop a blood infection, either you'll die or they're gonna have to cut your leg off.
Yeah.
So she just fired me up with antibiotics, like a lot of antibiotics and some other stuff I couldn't pronounce. And then I fortunately got to keep my leg. But I thought it was kind of funny that I was so close to either dying or losing my leg.
That's insane. And what? So,
oh shit! Yeah, I got prescribed 40% alcohol, and I was like, so what is that? And they're like, you can basically buy it at the kiosk, and I was like, okay. So what is like
vodka?
It's vodka. And here's
of course.
I need to clean my leg with.
That.
Upon prescription.
The cool thing is that if you're in Russia, you can only bring out a liter of alcohol at a time. But since I had the doctor's prescription, I could basically bring out a whole pallet if I had the transportation for it. So I ended up, it was like 3 or 4 bottles of vodka. just bring. And they were like, it's cheap. Everything is so cheap over there. It's great,
especially vodka.
Yeah, especially vodka.
Beer as well.
Yeah, I mean, if we ever get the chance, I strongly believe that we will go back to Russia at some point. Yeah, I'm
just for the shit of it.
That's a crazy story, man. Didn't that affect your playing at all? Like, were you still able to move around on stage, or were you just? Or did you have a little bit too much to drink during the show? Or?
Oh, man, I booze every time I go on stage. It seems to work. I play better that way.
Yeah,
don't tell my mom.
Because like if that was sort of fully swollen and you know really infected and nasty, like you said, like that, like surely that would have been painful.
Yeah, but it's like you know that feeling you get when you get like a mosquito bite and it's like super big at some point. It was like that. It was like that all the time, but when I touched it, it was like super sore, like like you know, kind of a wound or something.
Yeah.
And
but so after that, you got some antibiotic and it went down and you were fine, or what happened?
We got home.
Well.
Yeah, it took a while. I never forget this. On the way home, we had a a ship, like a ferry from Turku in Finland to Stockholm in Sweden, and on there I was with Aira. This is like the most embarrassing thing in my entire life, and I'm putting it on the internet right now. But all of a sudden I was like, I need to take a dump. And then I was like, hey, Aria, hold the booze. I'm gonna go find the toilet because I need to go now. Then I farted. I thought I farted on the way there. I was like, wait, liquid. And I was like, oh shit, this is bad. Like the greatest thing was just bought new underwear in Russia because it was cheap shit. So I just threw out my underwear. I was like, fuck. And then I took a shower and I was like. And I got out, and Max and Bjorn, who is our designated drivers, were like sleeping in the cabin. And I came in like, so what are you doing here? And I was like, I need to take a shower. Oh, I was sweaty. It's like, no. That one, there's like this one, what is called bivirkning.
The side effect.
The side effect that is to antibiotic is diarrhea. And I just had that one side effect that was, and they were like, oh, it's only like 15% or something. That was what the doctor told me. I'm like, oh shit. But apparently I was that fucking 15%.
Shit indeed.
literally the entire way back. We were constantly just shitting.
Yeah. Everyone.
Pull over.
You were. I didn't get sick at all.
You got sick on the trip though. You got sick on the food.
No, you didn't. I didn't.
No. Oh shit!
Yeah. I survived scratch free, except for the tattoo.
So what happened with your tattoo? I think you said yours got infected as well, but clearly not in the same to the same degree.
The ink got kind of squished out, and it got those inflamed spots here and there. And I mean, it's a little bit unclear, but it's a priest tattoo, and it's supposed to be Judas Priest in solid, solid striped letters, but a lot of it is faded here and there in the middle and in between.
It's just shading.
Pretty much just shading now. So,
with all due respect, you also kind of ripped it off. Like seriously, like once he was like scratching it, and then I just look at it, it's just like an open wound, and I'm like, bro, you just ripped your tattoo straight out of your body. He's like, oh, I did? Oh, yeah.
Dude, I need to put some cream on my tattoo.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And it looked so painful.
Well, I think as well, that guy who saved you, and that...
no, it was in the car. I really remember in the car, you were sitting like, and I was like, bro.
No, that dude who saved you, he also came with disinfectant and just went across it. So I was kind of, well, if he's a tattoo artist, and he's fine doing that on a fresh tattoo, well, I can do it too.
Yes.
I'll give it a little bit more sweet than just a little light.
But you rip the crust off, the crust of your scar.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of that.
It sounds like there's a pretty good story coming here for when you have to go back, so you can all get cover-ups, so you can get some proper big badass tattoos.
Oh, but for those who don't know, you can see the most of our Russian tour on YouTube. We made a 45 minutes. This is what we did video. It's basically like a vlog because we're so internet and blogger like. So yeah.
Fantastic. And YouTube. So that's just go onto YouTube and just search for Demolizer.
Yeah, but there is like this. There's one other band named Demolizer. It's to the public. Like we checked the middle archives. There's one other band, and it's Slovakian, and it's Black and Thrash.
Oh, they're thrashy as well.
Yeah, they're not really thrash, but they're more blackened. But yeah, you know, it's
nice.
Maybe more like punk, basically. But there is this other band, and they have like you can. We have our logo, but they have like their logo, and they have a pentagram in the middle. So that's not us. but yeah, just all of our tags are like Demolizer Thrash in one word.
Yeah, I noticed that. So that's pretty good. So you sort of keep it consistent across all platforms.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that name, by the way?
It was at an Exodus show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were at Copenhagen and
2018.
2018, yeah. At Copenhagen, which is this awesome festival in Copenhagen that does metal, and it's the greatest festival of all time. If you have any chance to go there, go. But it was
it's not exactly around the corner from here, but
come on, like on the other side of the globe, right?
You gotta visit your mom at some point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But at this point in time, you can't even fly. I suppose you can, but yeah, it's there's no festivals anyway. Everything is canceled anyway. But yeah, definitely Copenhagen is coming up. But tell us a story. So you were at Exodus.
Yeah, we saw Exodus, and I'd just been meeting with Exodus at like this meet and greet that they did.
Nice.
I was lucky to win that. And when I got back, I don't know, for some reason they have mentioned Demolition at that meeting, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then we saw the Exodus show, and this was before Aira was like an official member. We had met just a couple of days before at Pumpehuset, which has this pre-event for you can get your wristband a couple of days earlier, and then there's some bands playing and everything's cool.
A lot of beer.
Yeah.
Lots of beer.
Long story short, I was drunk at 2 in the afternoon.
We were all drunk.
Yeah, and after the show, I just come up. It's basically like the movies, like the westerns with the dust from the pit and everything. I'm just walking out like the brave soldier who just survived the explosion or whatever.
Dust all over your face and your mouth, and everything's black.
And these guys were just standing there like, so what's up? I came up with the name, and they're like, really? What is it? What? Demolizer, and they're like. And these guys were just looking at me like, what? And then Aira was like, he was like doing a cigarette or whatever, and I was like, what, like Demolition? I was like, yeah. I was just so drunk at this point, and they're like, dope, we like it. So
done.
We went through a lot of names, but that one just stuck.
Really? That was the only one I heard.
Well, you weren't a permanent member of the band.
Yeah, exactly.
So what other names were you called something else before?
Yeah, it was me and this is basically me and Bjorn started Demolizer because I was just home from border school. I went to border school with Max, boarding school with Max, and me and Bjorn has been to public school together, and me and Bjorn used to jam in the music space during the recess of in school time. So I just got home from that, and Bjorn sent me a picture of a bass and was like, look what I got. And I was like, dope, I just wrote 5 songs. You want to make a band or something? And he was like, yeah, let's make a band. So, and then a couple of days after, I went to this local show. We're from a town called Frederiksund, in the northern part of Zealand in Denmark. And then I met this guy called Christian who played drums. That trio was like a band for 4 years, I believe, 4 or 5 years, something like that. And then at some point we just sat down and was like, okay, we want to do this. You want to do that. Maybe we should just part ways because there's no way this is going to. So we parted ways, and then we had this side project, me and Bjorn, a punk band, and we looked for a drummer. And then I texted Max because I was like, hey, dude, didn't you used to play drums? He was like, yeah. And then he came in and he played like a drum fill at that side project, and me and the singer of that band was just like, so when can you start? And then Max found Aira at a bar.
Yeah, that is it.
But the cool thing is that Max has a plaque at that bar.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
You spend too much time drinking beer.
Yep.
well, that's I think when you are in a thrash band or when you're in a rock band, it kind of comes as a part of the job description. Like you gotta drink a lot of Limfjords porter and and vodka.
We actually thought this was a niche. Like for us, like we were the guys that like Limfjords porter, but apparently this other band, Ill Disposed, which is like huge Danish like death metal, fucking great. Their guitar player is super into this as well.
Also, another Danish band, folk metal called Vania.
And Schwarzer.
Yeah, that's my fault. It's Schwarzer, not Vania. Schwarzer. They drink a lot of Limfjords porter and talk a lot about it. So.
Well, there's so many. There's so many microbreweries around these days. Wouldn't you be able to get a proper Demolizer beer? You can get your own brand. That'd be some cool merch.
We have a bomb.
Yeah, we have a bomb.
Yeah,
so he made it.
It's true.
Like Demolizer.
Why?
Was it Bombalizer or
Bombalizer?
Yeah, the Bombalizer. We have a drink called the Bombalizer, and he made it, and it's Limfjords porter and
whiskey and Kahlua and vodka.
Oh.
Let me say it like this.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Let me put it like this. It hits like a mule on cocaine.
And if you can survive that, and if you can survive that without losing your leg, you probably deserve to be in a rock band.
We also have the shot called Demolizer.
Oh yeah, we have this local or little pub. No, not like a pub, more like a bodega. I don't know if that's like a word in other countries.
Yeah, it would just be like a little pub, a little.
Yeah, like a small pub behind our favorite big venue, at least. Behind Amager, there is a cafe Middelgrunden, which is this super small, very. We have invented a word, bummy. It's like something is a little bit bummy, like it's a bum kind of thing. It's a little bit of a bummy place, but it's so great. The people there are so nice, and everyone's an alcoholic.
And the weekend gets crazy.
The weekend, it has a lot of visitors. So me and Max, I believe it was me and Max, who was sitting at the bar one day talking to the owner and was like, bruh, you should try mixing a gin with schnapps, like proper Danish schnapps with like a regular gin. And she was like, okay, that sounds so disgusting, but let's try it. And then we tried it, and the entire bar got a shot of that, and they were like, "This is actually really great."
The main reaction to that shot is surprisingly better than I thought.
And then you could buy a Demolizer for 50 kroner at Cafe Middelgrunden for like 3 or 4 months.
Oh, so they actually named the shot Demolizer.
Yeah, and they did a DML ZR on like a little blackboard, like a blackboard on this size with like a piece of what is it? Chalk, yeah.
Nice. So are you getting any percentages of the sales now? There'll be a bit of a franchise opportunity there.
No, I've got a freebie for viewers.
That's all you need.
That's all I needed that time.
Nice. So I noticed that photo you posted on your website a couple of weeks ago when you signed the record contract was at one of those small pubs. Is that down from that place, or is that somewhere else?
No, that's from Zeppelin Bar, which is owned by the label.
The guy who owns the label also owns
the bar,
along with another guy.
I believe that they have some sort of connection. Like Zeppelin Bar, it's a great bar. You should go there if you have any chance. But it's like the guy that owns the label also owns the bar. And I think they kind of go hand in hand because they do a lot of promo there. Like some of our friends from Ethereal Kingdoms, which is basically dragon metal, Nightwish, but about dragons, they hold their release there, like a small concert.
That's pretty
so
cool.
I think it's kind of a hand in hand thing, and everyone signs there. That's apparently the thing.
Colorful, right? Cute.
So that is the place you go to sign a deal with Mighty Music.
I think so. I think maybe some people do it other places. I'm not really sure. That was just a thing that like made sense with our planning. He was like, "Can you come here and do it?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure."
Cool. And so how did all that happen? Because I was like, if you guys have been playing together as a band since, I think you mentioned 2018, then 2019 you're playing a shitload of concerts. You go to Russia and nearly lose the leg, and 2020 you sign a record deal. It's all going pretty fast. Like, it sounds like you guys are going places. How did Mighty Music sort of come into the picture?
Target, which is like the distribution part of Mighty Music, Target Records, is signed with Red Warszawa. So I believe that's where Michael, who is the owner, love you, Michael, thank you for signing us. Michael I believe that he kind of found out about us via Henning from Red Warszawa.
Yep.
And we just finished the record at Ballade Studios in Copenhagen, and we were like, we can afford to do this ourselves. Maybe we should just try to get on a label and stuff. So just texted like 4 different labels, and Mighty was actually the biggest and the first one to reply back to me, and they're like, "So, what do you guys have in mind?" And then we kind of negotiated, and now we got a record deal with Mighty Music, and we're hoping to release something. I'm not sure we have a release date, but I'm not sure we're allowed to say it. So
no, that's fine. That's fine. Like I think that I think about a lot when I talk to bands about sort of releasing music this day and age, is like how important is it to actually have a label this day and age? Because everything is on Spotify, everything is online. So what is it that a record label, or what is it that Mighty Music can help you with to sort of grow you as a band?
Well, Mighty Music has a label in itself. This doesn't only apply to Mighty, but I believe this is like the majority of every label. They have like the one we're on, they have a lot of contacts, like for distribution and promotion and
sponsorship,
touring as well. Yeah. No, not necessarily endorsements and stuff like that. I mean, some labels do, but not everyone. But they have a lot with the promotion side of things to do. So, like, if I promoted our album, it will probably be something with what is it like? I'd get to show it to the people that already follow us, right? But the label has contacts to magazines and public figures and blah 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 blah, so they can spread it even further. And of course, they can also help finance that. They can also help financing your next album or your merchandise production and stuff like that. So no matter how you're going to twist and turn it, a label, if you get on like a good label that has you in the interest, so then they're not just trying to make money on you, but they're actually trying to help you progress in this world, then you have no matter how you're going to twist and turn it, it's going to be a step up in the world. Like, people are also going to look more seriously at you. Like, if you're trying to get a gig, as an example, you can mention that you're on Mighty or a label. Let's say in our case it's Mighty Music, and it will make it a little bit easier for us to actually get the gig, because they're not just some whatever band, because every promoter in the world has not heard about us. Like, the ones we personally has. But if I text someone, I never text a promoter directly, for example. I text like the bands I know, and it's like, so do you have anything like a support band or something to this gig? And they're probably like, no. Okay, can we have that for? And they're like, yeah, sure. I'm just gonna text for a booker. That's how we get the gigs, you know.
You personally.
Yeah, that's how I personally get our gigs. Yeah. Sometimes dudes approach me and vice versa and whatever. But the most cases I get a good gig is like asking someone I know of a great show. Like, we just played with Concra. Everyone who doesn't know Concra needs to listen to Religion is a Whore, and it's fucking awesome. It's the greatest Concra song. It's such a great. I mean, it should be a death metal anthem. Check out Concra. Also, I see we just have the stream on the right hand here that Jens Bauendorf is watching, and Jens is the father of Anton, who is the guy that plays Hein, and Hein is this what is he like? He just turned 14, and he has this amazing metal band. So just shout out to Hein.
No. It's not a metal band. It's this 14-year-old kid. Also, he plays an Explorer. Fuck yes. Explorers are cool. This 14-year-old kid, he does everything.
He is himself. The band. He is the band.
Yeah, and yes,
except for the vocals.
He has some major A-list musicians. But I just noticed that Jens was watching, so I was like, dope.
Fucking shout out.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Hein. Check Hein out.
Guy.
So how do you spell that?
H-A-J-N.
Yes.
H-A-N.
He has a song called Nut, which is like,
that's funny.
Which is about him being inside of a nut because he likes metal. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's Niklas from Danish band Livløs that are doing the vocals on that song. He's a killer vocalist. He used to play in Wayward Dawn. And I gotta admit, there is this Danish trend of loving this Danish band called Based, right? But in my case, I think Based has nothing on Wayward Dawn. Like, Wayward Dawn is like pure old school death metal, and fuck yeah, we need some more of that.
Yeah, there's so many Danish metal bands that I've totally unaware of, because obviously because of the distance here. So I do pick up a little bit of what I see on Facebook. That's also how I came across you guys. I actually saw you on that live stream that you did. But is there any other sort of Danish bands that you sort of want to give a shout out to? Something that might be worth checking out?
Fucking Xenoblade.
Xenoblade.
Go listen to Xenoblade.
Xenoblade is like,
oh my god,
like if blackened thrash ever become a thing, Xenoblade will be the fucking pioneers of that.
Xenoblade is everything within metal, pretty much. It's death, it's thrash, it's extreme, it's incredible. Check it out. Xenoblade. X-E-N-O.
Yeah, like xenophobia blight.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
But it comes from there. Yeah. But it is from xenophobia, like. Yeah, whatever. There's Xenoblade. Also, there is. Of course, we gotta mention Based, because that's like the Based is like brute in Danish tongue, and it's basically like what are they called? They did Eden, Bloodbath, but modern and young. Not like super young, but younger than Bloodbath. Also Fordel, they do awesome, and there's also this Danish band called Nyrdolk. Yeah, it's basically kidney knife. Yeah,
kidney dagger.
Exactly. Also the legends from artillery, and I really strongly believe that Louis would cut our heads off if we didn't mention everything is terrible.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't actually think that they released something, but if you're into this like modern thing, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But if we go to modern stuff, but have my taste in the aim, you should definitely take a look at Aeon. We used to share a rehearsal space with them, and they do like some weird thing between like every core genre in the world and slam. Also,
they're fucking sweet dudes.
They're not like they're not musicians. They're athletics within music.
That's extreme. Totally makes sense.
Nice. So how do you guys fit in? Because like your genre is sort of very like the old school true thrash metal. How are you sort of sitting in the whole Danish metal geography?
Well, we have the Metallica problem, I believe, because we're too punk for some metal shows, but too metal for some punk shows. So if I just approach a metal festival, they're gonna be like, it sounds a little like punk, and then I'm like, okay. Then I'm asking this punk festival, and they're like, it's a little too metal. So that's why we get most of our gigs from, texting actual musicians that like us. But I think people are pleasantly surprised with us. We have given some sneak peeks on our album, and the people that's been listening is pleasantly surprised. Like we did a demo, which I for some reason called an EP, but it was a demo, and people really like that. So we have a pretty good name out there, I believe, at least. Some people probably yes.
There's definitely some.
There's definitely some.
But that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean.
So we just had a little bit of an audio. I think the connection was just lagging a little bit, so we didn't really hear what you were saying for the last probably 20 seconds there. But let me see.
Well, basically, I think people is glad that Thrash has a kind of return. Yeah. Because like we have Thrash here, but we have artillery. I fucking love artillery. Like those guys are so great, and they're talented musicians and super great guys and everything. But they've shifted a little bit more to the cleaner, more polished thrash. Like it's Søren. No, not technical necessarily, but it's more like Søren Andersen, who is doing a lot of pop and rock and stuff like that, is doing their album, and that makes it sound very polished. And also their singer, he's an amazing singer, but he's a clean singer. So it's not as
different.
Yeah, it's different. It's not gritty. It's not underground. It's not like it used to be. And I think the reason that we sound the way we do is because that I make Max play all the Skankblast beats. He also taught me that word. And then I don't do and I don't do clean vocals because I'm gonna be completely honest, I cannot sing. Like okay. I can probably sing around a campfire, but I cannot sing properly. Like Max is actually the greatest singer in this band.
True, that's true.
It's a rock. It's a reverse Ringo.
Spoiling stuff, dude.
Reverse Ringo.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, the gist of it is, we fucking missed old school thrash.
Yeah.
So we're playing old school thrash.
I think it's more like I just told Max that we wanted to play more extreme metal, and I had these riffs and these lyrics, and apparently it turned out to be thrash metal. Like maybe that's how you look at it, but I look at it more like if I sit down and I try to write a death metal song, then a couple of days after, Bjorn is going to be like, oh yeah, that's a pretty nice thrash song you wrote there. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, I think it's more, I have this idea how music sounds in my head, and I put it down, and apparently it's thrash metal every time.
But so where would you draw your influences from? Is that like you mentioned Exodus before? They're obviously one of the pioneers. Have you got any specific sort of bands that you would listen to, or bands that you grew up with that you would sort of say that they are your influences when you're writing?
I know exactly.
I mean, actually, when we started out, I'm definitely more of a punk guy. Like,
right.
Why? Because I grew up in the punk scene. You know, from when I was like 14 or 15, I used to go to Ungdomshuset. And it has that every punk song.
He technically still has a mohawk.
Yeah, I still have a mohawk. Actually, this is a mohawk. I'm bald on my sides. I had a mohawk since I was a dreadhawk. I had a mohawk since I was like in first grade or something like that. And then it just turned into dreads because I never comb my hair. But
even wearing a punk shirt as well.
Yeah, but it's like I was sitting backstage with Total Chaos because he was warming up for them. But I totally came from the punk scene, and then one day I was just like trying to write my own music, and it turned into riffs instead of just chords, and it became thrash metal for some reason. So, but I'm super into thrash. Like I fucking love thrash. Like Municipal Waste, Tankard, Exodus, Slayer is my absolute favorite. And also old school Metallica, like pre Black Album. I really like that. And like Kill 'Em All is like one of the top 10 best albums ever. Where the number one is always going to be Rain in Blood for me. And Rain in Blood has a super special place in my heart.
Had to play it faster and faster every time.
I don't know, man. But you know, we also listen to other things. Like I'm like very into hip hop and reggae and stuff like that as well. And he's into prog, and you're into jazz.
I'm into anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
So,
oh wow!
I'll find something matching that I like.
I think
I say literally anything. Go pop, jazz, hip hop, reggae, electronic, dubstep, you name it. I can find something similar I like.
Be honest, strictly metal.
Wow.
Only true metalheads.
He listens to radio as well.
I only listen to true quote black metal.
But usually I prefer either metal, punk, or classical music. Not so much else. Then it should be 80s disco or something.
Oh yeah, Bee-Gees is great.
Mostly metal.
I think the one genre all four of us can concretely just agree on that this is fucking awesome. As the gospel thrash.
Yeah.
That's one thing all four of us equally love.
I tried checking out some of the newer thrash bands, and the newer thrash bands is mainly German inspired. Which I think is, like Sodom and Destruction and whatever. And then to lean more across the aggressive punk side. Yeah. And I trust me, I fucking love everything that came out of Germany on that front. I love it. But the thing I missed was like, I heard Havoc, and they were like, Havoc has this thing that they take a lot of the American influences, but there's no German. So the thing I have in my head is like, German is very punk, but American is very traditional. What if you mix that? We have a lot of songs that mix both things, and also some completely different things, which I believe is what gives us our sound. We don't stick to strictly this is the sound. We are also trying to move outside of the box, which you will hear on the album, where we actually have a soft song, like a super soft song.
I mean, if you can call it like death soft.
Yeah, I mean, we like the band Death. I'm a huge Chuck Sculdiner fan. I mean, when I do vocals, I usually aim for something between like Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder and Chuck from Death. Like those guys were like my super mega idols when it comes to vocals. And guitar wise, it's got to be Chuck, David Sanchez, Mustaine, Randy Rhoads, and Dimebag Darrell. Like Randy and Dimebag was like the guys that got me into guitar.
They also, yeah, it's kind of league of their own, you'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that the Dime, he has a lot of what is it, like people that follow him, because the thing is, the Dime, I will say this straight, and a lot of people are gonna hate me for this. Dime is not the greatest guitar player in the world. He can do one thing, and that's play blues kind of metal. But he had a style and had a sound that no one else can match.
He had an attitude.
Yeah, exactly. Attitude is also a part of it. And nobody can match Dime at that. Like, he did the thing he did the best. Whereas I'm looking at a guy like Kirk Hammett. You know, I like the early Metallica, but like, let's be honest. Hardwired to Self-Destruct, every solo sucked. Let's be honest.
But it's also like he's, again, Kirk Hammett is probably also the same. Like he's good at what he does, but he doesn't have a very broad sort of playing style. Like he's very sort of, you know, on his pedestal. He does what he does, and that's it.
I actually believe, and we've been talking about this a couple of times, me and Aria. James Hetfield is the good guitar player of Metallica, because he might just be the rhythm guy.
But that right hand.
He's a kick-ass rhythm guitarist.
It's more like he can actually do other stuff than just digga 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 digga, you know?
Yeah.
He can also do those. He actually wrote the intro for Fire with Fire, like the classical kind of thing.
He did most of those. Either Cliff or James who did those.
Yeah. So I strongly believe that James is a good guitar player in Metallica. Yeah. Although they would have been happier with staying with Mustaine.
Yeah, he's also an amazing front figure for the band. Like he's so good live.
James or Dave?
James.
Both.
Both. Yeah.
I mean, today he looks like my grandpa with a guitar and a motorcycle. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah,
it's also. It's funny about James too. Like when you look at all the first couple of albums, you know, none of them had any tattoos, and then all of a sudden he comes out, it's got 2 full sleeves, and like it's got like everywhere, man, on his chest, and like fully covered. I remember Max before Russia. He was like, "I'm gonna do a Lars Ulrich and just don't have any tattoos." Then I got drunk. I was like, "Dude, you should totally get a tattoo." And he was like, "No." I was like, "Dude, get the tattoo." And he's like, "Okay."
What's my favorite band? Yeah, Priest. I'll get a Priest hat.
You and I got band. Do you have any band tattoos?
Kinda.
Pretty much of doodles.
Like most of these, if you think about it, they're sort of ish band tattoos. It's more of a I just go with the theme and
but you don't have like a name or something.
No, exactly. Just like it's mostly about a song that means something. Or it just made me feel something, or it just made me want to go pick up the guitar. So that's it in there.
Nice.
I got a Pantera tattoo.
That's true. Straight up, just have a Pantera tattoo.
Have you?
Yeah, I did a tattoo on my foot once.
Sorry, you what? Sorry.
I got a NoFX tattoo on my foot.
No, you made your own NoFX tattoo on your foot.
No.
I was on a date with this chick, and apparently we ended up at a beauty salon that had a tattoo machine. So I tattooed my foot, and I just wrote NoFX, like the band NoFX, because I was like, I don't do drugs. I drink a lot, but I don't do drugs. And so I was like, well, that's a double meaning, and that's kind of cool. So I wrote NoFX because I don't do drugs and because I love NoFX, the punk band.
So you just sat down there and you just start writing on your own foot.
Yeah.
Have you done any tattoos before?
No.
So how?
I on the date we met up with the owner of that beauty salon and her boyfriend, and I wrote the girlfriend's name on the boyfriend's ass.
Nice.
Nice.
Why have we not tattooed each other yet?
Because we don't. I actually thought about buying a machine, but that was from Wish. I was like, oh, that's gonna be bad. But I was like so drunk. And my friend, I believe it was my friend Mette. Mette is like the sister I never had. And she was just like, bro, you're not buying a tattoo machine that can only end in disaster. It's like, okay.
I was about to say, like your story from Russia is a pretty good example of probably why maybe you shouldn't buy a tattoo machine.
What are you talking about? I had that totally under control. I still have my leg, don't I?
Yeah. Fair enough. But wow, I mean, it's a great story. It's a great story, that one. Probably not something you wanna try and repeat again. But have you got any fans that have got your logo tattooed?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
I mean, that hasn't happened. It's a little, because the thing is, we have our own tag tattooed, so it would feel a little bit weird if people just went ahead and started doing that.
But we do have some people that tag our tag. We have a tag that is like, a graffiti tag that is like universal for Demolizer. So you don't have to be in Demolizer to tag this. Like we have some tattoo crews here that's basically gonna kick your ass for writing their tag somewhere that isn't allowed. Like, let's say that you ride on a train, somebody else's tag are going to beat the shit out of you. Like, you could probably die from it. But our tag is more like, if you like Demolizer, put it somewhere. And it's just DMLZR. So, and people put that places, like in bathroom stalls and on streets. And we even had stickers once that people put up. So, but it's like the more street aspect of it. That's the thing I really like about Thrash. It's like it's very street. It's not something like Gent, which is really majestic and big, and we're trying to be bigger than we actually are. Like Thrash is, I have a guitar and let's fucking play. I can't do that.
And that, I suppose, that's ultimately what music is all about. You gotta just get together and play some tunes.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I believe that a lot of bands have a lot of thought going into like writing a song. Like we gotta sound like this, or we gotta do this, or we gotta do that. Where I suppose we're more. This is what we do. This is what we're good at,
And is it like how do you usually make how do you usually compose the songs? Is that you bringing a riff down, or you got a finger pointing at you there?
Well, usually it's me getting pissed about something. Then I write some lyrics. And sometimes I just write everything myself. I have all these riffs in my head and like ideas about how everything is going to be. And then I demo it at home with like some, with like easy drummer and my Helix, my guitar thingy, and then I just play my own bass just to kind of get an idea how it's all sounding. And then whisper the lyrics and stuff. But usually, not like. These days, I'm having the riffs in my head and the lyrics down, and then I'll meet with Max, and it's like, I got these ideas. Can we try to, then we sit here and actually right here and try to make things work, and then sometimes I go home and finish it, and other times I get back here and finish it with the others. Like it's a very like we have a new song from our album that was just written like just like that. We just all were in the room and I had the lyrics laying around, and then it just then there was Copenhagen Burning. We just wrote that on the spot and it vaguely changed. So
nice.
It's a little bit different every time.
Yeah. And so what on this new album here, is that a full length, and roughly when is that gonna hit the streets?
Well, we recorded it live, so it got 10 minutes shorter than we anticipated.
That's too much tempo than we really thought it would be.
Max, do you need a metronome? No.
Yeah, but it's like usually when we record demos here, I send a click out to Max, and he's recording that. But Lasse made a live record, which basically meant that we were all in the same room together, and we just played the songs, like actually played them together.
Problem is that when we do it that way, when we play live, is that we I feed off the energy which makes me go faster. So we thought, let's go with that energy thing in the studio. And what happened was, usually we record around 200, 205 BPM. Be prepared for 225 plus BPM.
Nice.
So the entire album got shrunk down 10 minutes because every song was like slightly faster.
10 seconds to a half a minute faster.
Yeah, it's like,
So did you end up record the whole album live? Because that's wow, that's pretty cool.
Like a live recording is like when all of you is in the room, when the drums get recorded, so all of you actually play together, and then when it comes time to record like guitars and stuff, then you dub them, which means that you basically put a layer upon what's already there, and then you delete the old layer.
Right.
And then you do that twice.
So you don't keep the original guitar at all?
Usually not.
Not really, because it's the drums that matter in that part. It's like closer, like your face is all fucked.
It's because of the lights.
lights.
We don't have any curtains, sorry. So Bjorn is probably.
That's alright. Oh yeah, and you got those beautiful long summer nights.
Jesus! It is Jesus! Satan is real.
Jesus,
Yeah, what's the time in Denmark now? It would be almost 8 o'clock or something.
It's 8 o'clock, yeah.
10 to 20.
It's crazy, and you still have daylight for another couple of hours.
What time is it down under?
It is 10 to 2 in the morning.
Jesus, hell, dude. Oh my god. Night owls.
Yeah, that's it, man. But somebody's gotta listen to all the crazy stories you guys have to tell, man.
I mean, you asked for it.
yeah. No, look, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and it's I'm a little bit curious to see also in regards to sort of moving forward now as a band. Now you have your album, you have your record deal. Where are you sort of hoping to take this moving forward?
Germany.
That's it.
Yeah, like we want to tour Germany just because that would be awesome. And they love Thrash down there apparently, and also England, and Scotland, of course.
Pretty much just Northern Europe.
Yeah,
Finland to begin with. To begin with, of course.
But we don't really have like an exact goal. I mean, we have a dream of one day playing Copenhagen and Wacken, like not necessarily the big stage, but just Wacken in general. And I believe that the thing in this band is actually just about being in a band, because that's what we like.
We like playing music.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of. I believe that a lot of bands has this tendency, like before I used to have bands in school and stuff, but when we had that, it was just about let's play a couple of songs. This band is more about let's get out and see the world together as a group of friends. This is more like family than just a band, you know. It's like we can take this. The other day, me and Aira had a huge fight in our Facebook group, but and it's only like 5 days ago, something like that. Yeah. And today we're cool. There's no bad blood. It's you know, even though I hate Aira at that point, and, today Aira, you know.
What were you fighting about?
It was something so stupid as well.
It was because we had a gig and he wanted to go to a vacation, and I was like, dude, these guys are gonna drive, you know, Bjorn and Max, and they're always complaining to me. So I was like, whatever, just don't make them drive.
Long story short, there was a lot of triggering and just engaging and engaging and engaging. And it just.
You and I need to talk about that. Actually, we haven't done that yet.
The conversation or discussion started at 1 afternoon and it ended about 5 in the evening. I had my phone on mute all the time. So when I looked on that conversation, I was like, "Wow, what's going on?"
I'm gonna say something, and I was totally beyond ripping it open again at some point. He was like, the conversation was dead, and then Bjorn was like, "Dude." And then it just exploded again.
Actually, it just kept on going again.
we managed to get over it. But dude, it's cool to go on vacation because now that gig got cancelled anyway due to Corona. But you know, those are just some of the things like Aira, he works in weekends. He's a bartender at a restaurant.
Totally different schedule.
And the rest of us are craftsmen. So we the three of us works from 7 to 3 and can be here at 5. And he works weekend and he works weird places. So when we go out in a weekend, then he will usually have to get the day off.
Yeah.
Like he needs to like apply to get off, and sometimes he cannot get the Sunday off, which means that we have to leave early.
And it fucking sucks because no one can drink. These guys need to fucking drive after maybe having gone out the night before, and
I believe
it was just a terrible, shitty situation that no one wants to be in.
I believe there was one time in Randers, which is the Danish town that's in the other side of the country from us. It's like we live in the far east. That's where Copenhagen is located, and we were on the far left of the country, and in the middle of nothing really. And we're just like, okay, so we have to go home. I don't remember if it was because you had to go to work or because
we had nowhere to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
We had nowhere to crash or anything.
So that meant we just packed everything, threw it in the car, and went home. And that meant that we were first home at like 5 or 6 in the morning.
It was about a 4 or 5 hours drive. I mean, it was in the middle of the night, no traffic, and luckily I was doing a different job where we do night shifts. So I was used to being awake at that hour. Yeah. But it was just the entire situation was so bad, and I mean, those idiots were just dead the entire trip home. And luckily, he was alive. He was alive to kind of keep me awake. It's like we're driving buddies. He's my buddy. And Paul is Bjorn's buddy. And, yeah,
we like holding hands while we
help each other, caress each other's legs and shit. Yeah. Wait, what?
But road safety.
It's getting weird. Next question.
Yeah, it's actually a huge death factor in Australia because people fall asleep behind the wheel because like the distances here are ridiculous. So it happens quite often that people fall asleep, and because you just have these you can drive for like hundreds and hundreds of kilometers without having anything. So well, that's good. You got each other's legs. You can cuddle each other a little bit there when you when you're driving home.
You know it. He doesn't like to admit it, but you know it.
Good stuff, man.
All three of them.
We all like to admit it.
So is the future plans, is that to try and do this for a living, if you could take it to that, or is it more just still something you just like to do as a hobby on the side?
I mean, fuck yeah, if we could do it for a living, that would be the biggest privilege of all time, I believe. It's like already from now, as you said yourself, it's been going pretty fast, and I believe that if it still goes this fast, then probably, yeah, we can try to aim for that in some kind of way. Like we already, I never forget the first time we got paid for a gig. Like holy, you know, the first time a dude bought our T-shirts and stuff, we were all super excited for that. Like an actual person paying for something that we made. That was like a bit of a emotional event for all of us, I believe.
Also, seeing someone in the audience singing along.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was intense. We just released the demo before playing our first show. And at the first show, this dude just shows up and he sings along to all of the songs. No, that was he's the lead singer of a Danish band now called Spitanger. Jonas. Jonas Lassen is his name. Yeah. He came and sang along, and I was like, "Fuck, this dude knows all the lyrics."
You know what I remember just now? Esbjerg.
What happened in Esbjerg?
There was just this moment I remember. The day after Esbjerg, where we so Esbjerg was intense. It was really intense. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the stories.
That is the drunk stories.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We'll save for another time. But
I remember the morning after, we're walking out of the hostel. We're going back to the car. We just stand there by the car, just outside the car, smoking cigarettes and other things, and then
he and I.
And then we're just talking, and then one of us mentions, guys, we just made enough money from merch to cover all of the expenses for this weekend, and like 500 crowns on top of that. And all of us are just fucking celebrating, running around the car, acting like idiots. And then the thing is, we haven't made money.
No.
We've just played a show and made enough merch money to just cover the expenses. But it was such a huge step for us.
It was the first time actually going zero on expenses.
Yeah.
And just that we don't have to put out any money anymore.
And
for this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Just that one really small thing was just such a huge step. And I feel like every step that we're taking now as well, it has the same sort of weight to it with the fact that oh shit, this is happening now. So
but I think that's also crazy to think about is Metallica, when they did Kill 'Em All, were sleeping in the back of a van and selling merch, and all bands have been in that starting position at some stage. And sometimes you just see you just keep going. I think that's a key thing. Like, as long as you don't stop. As long as you keep playing it, and as long as you keep having fun, and don't lose your legs or don't die of drinking or whatever, it's you just gotta push forward and write some killer songs and sell a lot of merch. But yeah, I could imagine that would be a really cool feeling, knowing the fact that you've actually, as you said, not necessarily made money, but you've covered your expenses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, I have a question for you. Have you heard of Carnival? Have you heard of Carnival?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. They're from Perth. They're very, very huge band here, man. They sell out every time they put on a show.
Have you been able to see them?
Yeah, I've seen them probably 5 or 6 times.
Fucking jealous.
Yeah, no, they're a sensational band.
Love those guys.
I met up with a guy. I think that was last week. Who knows a couple of the guys from the band. So I'm hoping I might be able to get one of them on to have a chat. Because like I said, they're all you know. I think most of them have normal day jobs too, and you know. But yeah, they have played some massive shows, and they are a big band in Australia.
I think they filled out Royal Albert Hall as well once, like as in filled, or was it the O2 Arena, something like that?
I'm not too sure about what they've done overseas. I know they played a huge. They were headlining a festival in India 2 years ago, and
metal festivals.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually heard they have a metal scene. I heard that they got like this awesome metal scene, but I didn't actually expect them to have like festivals and stuff. I thought it was more like underground.
Yeah. Now they've done extremely well, and like I said, they every time they put a show on in Australia, it sells out. So yeah, and they are exceptionally good live as well, like super tight.
Yeah, like from what I've heard, it's as if they're huge in Australia, they're huge in England, and then no one else knows them.
Yeah, I think you're right. Or in India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest population. India matters more than Australia and England together.
Yeah, except I don't think there's much money there. So, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
How did you come across him?
It's now he's gonna hate me. We're young. We love guitar YouTube, and one of these guys I watch, Rabia. That guy shreds. Oh. And he just mentioned, because I'm really into the progressive sort of style of music as well, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, you gotta check out these mates. They're fucking awesome band." And all right, cool. I hear like one riff. I think it was Themata or no, Dead Man.
Yeah,
that was
right.
The first song. It's like a 12-minute long, fucking crazy epic journey. And then I've been hooked ever since.
Now, Sound Awake, the whole album from with Dead Man is the last album came out. It came out the same year, a couple of months after I arrived in Perth, about almost 10 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, so that album has a special place in my heart because it's a masterpiece, I reckon.
It's about the whole concept of perception of sound and music and shit like that.
It is, yeah, and the production is phenomenal as well.
I'm joking.
But they're a great band, and you should try and see if you can get them to Denmark one day. Or you guys have to come down here and check them out.
You can set up a gig. We're coming.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Gotta sell a lot of T-shirts though.
We're gonna tour with ever.
It's
very, very different.
Oh, do you know Desecrator from Australia?
No, I can't say I do.
What, bro? They warmed up for Airborne on last time they were in Denmark. It's like this Australian thrash metal band.
Nice.
And he has the most Australian accent that you could ever dream of. The singer.
Cool. No, I haven't come across those ones. Might have to try and check them out. Is that thrash metal as well?
Yeah. And he's like he does this. He kind of looks like Devin Townsend before the dreads, Wait, before the dreads was. So it's like he's bald, but he has this long hair, but it's not dreads.
Wait, what? Have I been lied to?
Nice. So I don't. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I probably need to check them out. They've been. What is it? I think Strapping Young Lad came down here a couple of years ago.
Is he British recently?
Yeah,
That's a while ago.
Because they just reunited, as far as I know.
Yeah,
Strapping?
Yeah, they just reunited.
I didn't know that. Me neither.
But yeah, I never went and see them because not many of those bands actually come to Perth. They usually skip that out of the loop because of the geographics of the country, or there's about you have to travel about 3.5 hours just to fly to Perth. So we're about nearly 4,000 kilometers away from Sydney. So it's a beautiful while away. Anyway, let's try and wrap this up. My last question, which is something I like to ask everybody, is if you have any sort of tips or tricks, anything you'd like to sort of pass on, anything that has worked for you that you think could work for another band, that anyone out there is sort of wanting to take their band to the next level, or want to sort of, if you have something you've done that has sort of improved your career, your business as a band.
Can I say that?
Yeah, sure.
It has to bite the bullet. Really, just take the piss jobs. Get to know what is the bottom, and then you can work upwards instead of getting all the good stuff at the beginning. I mean, we've had a ton of shit jobs where we just thought, what are we doing with ourselves? I mean, we're getting treated badly. We're having shitty standards, but knowing how to recover from that makes you much stronger. I mean, it can break up bands even, but we're still together. So it's say yes to a shitty gig once in a while, just to get the taste of, okay, what is the better stuff? What can we look forward to? I mean, that's the thing I kind of learn a lot from, is that how shit can it be? How amazing can it be?
I suppose again, it sort of helps shape you in the sort of like the early phases of the band as well, because you do get to play these, as you call them, like, the really shit gigs.
I'm gonna kind of disagree with you there, because we have had it pretty good. Like, we got the deal with River Shava was that we went on tour with them, and then in return we put up and took down all their shit, and they had a lot of shit, believe me. That was like the deal with that. And I still believe that's a steal. Like, usually people pay for this tour that we've been on, and we've been on 3 of them. It's like I don't think that it's shitty. Yeah, you have to clean up.
I'm not talking about that gig.
That was just an example.
Just in general.
It's just an example. Like as a band, you're not, and not even if you're fucking okay. Probably if you're Metallica, but not if you're like suicidal tendencies or stuff like that. And sometimes you're gonna be at a place where it's not really cool to be per se, but you can just be there. But I'm gonna probably, for my like advice, I'm gonna tell the thing that Anders Lundemark of Conquer told me. It's not hard being a rock star. It's just about writing the best metal you can, and then everything will come. Like, just if you are critical about the product you put out there, you gotta look at your music as a product. Would you buy your product? Like, it's as if you're a restaurant. If your lasagna sucks, nobody's gonna buy it. If your metal is great, they're gonna do, So it's that. Just be super fucking self-critical, but not to a point where you cannot release anything. At some point, that's why we went to a studio, for an example, because otherwise it would have been me engineering it, and I would never have been satisfied with it. But because we have a third-person view of this, then it can be done. And I think that's an important thing to do. Just, do the best you can. Otherwise, and always fight to be better. Like, even if you think, okay, I have this product now, this is good, then how could you improve that product? That's what Anna told me. I really believe that that's the greatest advice I've ever had in this industry. Just make the best metal you can.
Yeah. Now that's again, I think that's a pretty strong advice as well, because again, it also sort of puts the ball over in your court. Like you as musicians, like you have to do the best you can. You have to keep practicing, and again, you have to keep pushing forward, keep going in general.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's what happened to Havoc. Like I've been listening to a lot of Havoc, and their early stuff, like the Burn album, it's a great album. I love it. Probably the strongest debut that I've heard in forever. But they just released V or 5 or whatever they want to call it. And to be honest, there's probably some of my favorite songs of all of Havoc's career on that album. And I came in at just about the Time Is Up era. And that was great. Like, that was so great. And there's I don't remember if it was before or after the From the Cradle to the Grave stuff. But it's like, damn. I mean, I believe that those guys improved so much, and they're a huge inspiration, just like Warbringer and Municipal Waste is to us. And to me, it's probably Havoc that is the most, because they just are so innovating within a so old genre.
Awesome. I don't think I've actually heard that album. I'm gonna write that down as well. I want to try and check that out. So Havoc, and that was
Havoc album.
V
man.
Or 5, yeah.
It's just V.
It's a Roman 5. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Roman. Cool, man. I gotta check that out. Fuck, guys, it's been awesome. It's been awesome listening to your stories, and so I love the whole Russia trip, man. That sounded like that was.
We got to do more though. So for another time.
There'll be lots more of them to come by the time the whole COVID lockdown is down, and you guys can and they're gonna let Demolizer out in the world again.
Well, thanks for letting us tell our.
Sorry.
Thanks for letting us tell our stories.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, that's the whole reason of doing this. It's for me to hear your story and for you to tell them, and for everybody else to listen along. So by the time this goes out in the podcast, people can sit in their cars and listen to you guys talk shit on the way to work or something. That's perfect. I've got this last song here to sort of finish off on, which is your Built on Slavery song. Can you just tell us a little bit about what that song is about and how that came about?
I got fired that day I wrote that song.
Oh, really?
About the workers' market in Denmark, you go up at 7 and come home you go up and you start at 8 and you go home at 4 and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I was just sick of it because I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I don't have the most fun or great story with the what's it called, Arbejdsmarkedet, the general job market.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was just like sick of this, the way that everything was with getting a job, not being good enough, getting fired, getting a new one, trying to fit in when you didn't fit in. And it's basically about that, about paying taxes, lowering your debt. Is that really what life is all about? Just paying money to me, money is like a fictional thing. Like it's a piece of paper you hand someone to get something, and it's like, why are we like that? Or why do we have to actually kill ourselves in the long run, like destroy our knees or backs or heads and fuck ourselves up just to earn this fictional valuta that is used in society, and it's just me basically being fed up with all of that.
We don't need to be fucking slaves to
society or the workers' market. Like,
yeah. Sort of be focusing on all the materialistics, I suppose. You know, I suppose that's why a lot of people go to work, you know, to pay mortgage, but also like to buy stuff, you know, buy stuff you don't need with money you don't have.
Yeah, like that. Like
Annihilator said it pretty good. Take all your money and throw it away. Flush all your work down the drain.
Or buy Demolizer t-shirts.
Yeah, you know, you can kind of say that's kind of double-sided because we also try to earn money, but that's like
fortunately that's the way it works.
Yeah.
No, really. I mean,
we want Demolizer to work in this modern day era.
Yeah,
this is the only way. Yeah,
I mean, we're in a world where we're in a capitalistic world. Like everything has to do with capital. Everything you do, like you one day hoped that this live stream is gonna earn you some money somehow. You know?
Oh, eventually you'll get that. That'd be nice if you get a couple of sponsors or something like that down the track. To begin with, it's just like you. It's just about having fun. It's just about, you know, talking to people, hearing some funny stories, and maybe getting some great advice that you can pass on to other guests.
Yeah, but the same thing is here. But it's more like I just believe that I've had enough. Like I don't believe that life should be about just paying bills and die. That's so sad that it's come to that. So that's what the song is basically about. Like if you really, you really go down to the specifics.
Yeah,
I think Sebastian Bach put it very well with, you get born, you go to school, you get a job, you get a wife, have some kids, and then you die.
Yeah.
It's just, what's the fun in that?
When you put it like that, there's not that much fun. You need a couple of infected tattoos and some Limfjordsporter in between, just to spice things up a bit.
Go fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, and I strongly actually believe that I didn't expect that song. That song is like a major point in our career, or whatever you would say.
Style-wise as well.
Yeah, because I shit you not, this is like the most movie-like moment in my entire life. I just woke up almost screaming in the middle of the night. I was like, I fucking got the riff. And then I played the riff, and I brought it to rehearsal next day, and I was like, I brought this riff, and that made a song.
I think the thing I said was, I'm doing something stupid on the side. I have a thing of being really distracted all the time, and then I just turn over and I'm like, dude, that is the best riff you've ever written, ever. And then
it's a fucking amazing riff. That song.
I just woke up in the middle of the night. And did that, and I just remember finishing the lyrics that night as well. It was like I woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and just wrote it done. I basically just wrote the riff, like that riff, and then the lyrics, and then the day after the song was done, as we met in the rehearsal space. We even demoed it that day, I believe. It was like a magical moment. It was just like, I believe that was like a point where I really found out that, okay, this music thing is actually mattering a lot more to me than I actually expected, because this is like something that actually means something to me now. This is my thoughts and my feelings put down onto paper and in chords and sound.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was probably like a true eye-opener.
I love that, and that again is like you hear that from so many musicians. That it becomes your therapy, it becomes your medicine, it becomes your legacy almost. Like it is a part of you. It is it's your little baby. You know, it's exactly like you said. It's your frustration. You get your anger out over losing your job or just wanting to sort of rebel against all this. Like you said, you pay bills and die.
Yeah, but I believe that like some musicians, I'm not going to point any fingers at all, but like some of even in rock and metal music, some musicians are paying to get lyrics and songs written for them. And some of them are not even admitting to it. But if you have just the slightest idea of how the music industry works, you know who has written which song. Mm. Like even if you have like some idea of how the music industry works, then Interscope Records own everything. Mm. So it's like I strongly believe that a musician, or at least a real musician, would write his own songs. And not to say that some of these musicians are not real musicians, like they're great singers or guitar players or whatever, but I really believe that a media that has been about how do you put it, like explaining yourself to the world, like sometimes I feel like I'm the one who cannot explain myself too well in a conversation, then I can do it through a song. If you can't do that, then how much of a musician are they? Are they just like a technical great musician, or are they actually a deep, more fully fleshed musician?
Mm. True words. And that again defines you as an artist, because like you are the creator of the song rather than someone, like you said, who gets it written for others. Just on a final point, just for everybody who's listening, can you just tell us where you can go and keep updated on Demolizer? Where's the platform that people should go to sort of stay up to date?
Well, our Facebook is probably the greatest point. That is
Instagram
where,
as well.
And Instagram as well.
There.
But Facebook is definitely our A point. We're trying, and we're also doing Instagram. Instagram and Facebook is like our major things, and we're trying to be updated on YouTube. And we just today actually started a Twitch channel on which we're gonna aim at streaming at least every second Saturday.
Oh wow!
And probably some in-betweeners. And it's gonna be just us in a rehearsal room with the camera, and people can request songs, and if they donate over 25 kroner in Danish, we will probably take a shot or a beer. So then you can pay to see us get drunk on camera, which I believe is the greatest idea ever.
Honestly, you don't even need to pay. Watch the stream.
Yeah, just watch the stream. We've been drinking a couple of beers here.
It's getting a couple of beers. It's getting to my head. I'm gonna be honest.
Honest. That's awesome. That's awesome, guys.
I think.
All right. Well, I'll leave you guys to it, and hopefully you can finish off the rest of the beers, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm gonna put on our little Build on Slavery song here for us to finish off the stream, and enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and take it easy. It was a pleasure.
You too. Stay heavy.
Cool, man. See you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally just keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HEL hammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.